All right, today is going to be an interesting one. So, I have some things lined up. We'll see how it goes, how well it's planned, but I think it's going to be really fun to watch. So, what I wanted to talk about today was mainly beauty, just beauty standards and beauty objectives, I guess, from the male and female perspective. So, last video, I kind of touched on it a bit, but I don't think I was too thorough, and I wanted to definitely add some information and some things that I just wasn't able to add. I already reached 30 minutes in that one, or around 30 minutes, and I didn't even talk about what I really wanted to talk about. So we'll start it off with something, I guess, controversial, but it's true. Beauty is not subjective. So obviously there's variations between what someone will consider incredibly attractive, but beauty as a whole is not subjective. And you can see that because beauty is really just in terms of human traits. Of course, there's beauty in nature, and that's mainly just chalked up to symmetry. But when you're talking about humans, beauty is a measure of how healthy something is, usually. Specifically for females, beauty is directly correlated with fertility, or not necessarily directly correlated, but strongly correlated. And so you have a lot of these beauty standards that women look up to. For example, I mentioned last video hair. Hair was so important. And well, why is that? Hair is technically dead. Dead, dead. Like, hair is just a dead organism that sprouts from your head. But the reason it's so important to, especially for girls, is because of the fertility. You can easily tell if someone is older or, I guess, less healthy just by looking at their hair. I pointed out, I man, I can't remember the name of it. Athesia? Athesia? Oh well. The 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 condition that makes you go bald, basically, or have like bald patches on your head. That condition really screws you over because it's so obvious that there's something unhealthy going on in your body. And you can't it's really hard to hide. Like, you could wear a baseball cap, but as a girl, like, you're basically the custom is to have long hair. So people are going to be able to easily tell if you are fertile, I guess is a way of putting it. And so you could have a condition that ruins your hair, or you could just have old age. And as you gain age, your hair starts to um I guess fray, and you can, like, picture an old lady, her hair, and compare it to, I don't know, a 12-year-old girl's hair. Like, you're easily able to differentiate between the two because one's just more healthy. The hair itself is more healthy than the other. So hair is really important for girls, and I mean face as well. So you see, like, acne treatment, of course, just basically, if you're able to remove acne, well, acne would be just a form of un um like unhealthiness. So you have clogged pores. Basically, acne is just a bunch of sebum just trapped in your glands, right? And that's unhealthy. I mean, that's considered unhealthy. So if you're able to remove acne, that's a bonus. You're even more healthy. And so you have okay, all right. So you have hair, you have face, just general skin, and skincare. Skincare is insane. I was looking into this. Skincare routines for girls are like at least 15 minutes. You've got what's it? Okay. So I'm thinking like salicylic acid. So something to actually okay, no wait, even before that. You've got something to cleanse the face, so a foam cleanser. Then after that, you've got maybe salicylic acid, which helps remove acne. Then you've got a retinoid. I might be getting the order mixed up, but the whole point is that there's a lot. So retinoid to remove wrinkles, and then after the retinoid, you've got you rinse that off, and then you put on moisturizer, and then after moisturizer, you put on sunscreen to protect yourself from the UV rays. So all of that, and then I'm sure I'm missing more. Like all of that, I'm sure adds up to at least at least 30 minutes a day because not okay, maybe not 30 minutes, maybe like 15 minutes a day because you did it in the morning and then you do part of it in the at night or like maybe midday if you're a maniac. But that's like that just shows how important beauty is to girls. I mean, like portraying health is basically what it is. And this is kind of funny too. I'm going to get a bit sidetracked, but I was thinking like if you were to say to someone's girlfriend or you were to say to your friend even that their girlfriend is not attractive, that would be an insult. But you're saying even if you were saying it objectively, like your girlfriend is not healthy basically is what you're saying. Like that's insane to me because it's considered an insult, but is it really an insult? Like if your girlfriend is still if that person is still fertile, like is that really an insult? I don't know. I was just thinking about it. Maybe I wasn't phrasing it too well, but now that I think about it, it is pretty rude saying that like, oh, the mate that you chose is actually un is unhealthy and not fit to reproduce. Like, I guess that's basically what you're saying deep down. So yeah. And the mate, your girlfriend would want to be viable, like would want to be fertile. So basically dismissing her fertility. That is a bit offensive, I guess. But it could still be true. Regardless. Moving on, so yeah, face routine and then there's also I've seen a surge of girls going to the gym. Okay, so of course guys too, but like actually girls as well is pretty significant. Girls I remember going to the gym like early on before it was actually a thing. At least I think it was before it was a thing. And this was back in pre-COVID, maybe a little. Yeah, no, this was pre-COVID, and I worked out a bit at home, but then around COVID, I started working out at the gym after COVID, I guess, since since the gyms opened up. And I didn't notice many girls. There were probably, especially my age, it was probably like late 30s would be the average girl that would come in age, maybe even late 40s. And then now it's like teenage, college age girls coming into the gym working out, average. And there's probably like, I would guess at least double the amount of girls there were back when I started working out, going to the gym. Which is good, but it's also concerning if you think about like what's driving them to go to the gym. And the biggest likelihood is it's body dysmorphia. The amount of images you see of 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10 Instagram models posting regular like casual selfies or just casual days of them going to the beach or something random like that. Like that's definitely going to screw up a female's brain. And I I mentioned the Instagram account, Madeline, man, can't remember the name. Madeline Ar Argyle, whatever it was. She had, I think, 69 posts of just these casual looking selfies. And not only just one picture. Each post was a collection, so had like 7 other pictures. And of course, some of them weren't of her, so they were, I don't know, a picture of the beach, and then a picture of the scenery, and then it would be a picture of her. So maybe like 3 in each collection were of her. And I mean, a girl seeing that frequently, that's gonna distort your brain on what a normal body should look like. And then I guess that drives you to go to the gym. Kind of good, but kind of bad because in the end, you're not going to be satisfied. Sure, you're going to go to the gym for, I don't know, a month, and then you're going to see like I didn't tone myself well enough, and then you're going to be unsatisfied, and it's just going to be even worse. And best case scenario, you get toned, you increase a bit of muscle, because toned is basically just increasing muscle, but just not like being jacked. So you increase a bit of muscle, but once you get to the stage, once you get to what you thought your goal was, and I'm guilty of this too, and this is extremely common for guys. Once you get to your muscular goal, then you realize, you know what, I actually didn't want to be this. I wanted to be even more muscular. This is my new standard. And so it's way higher up, and you can't really ever reach a goal. And that's kind of a good thing because it keeps you driving, but at the same time, like maybe you should have a stopping point. Um, yeah, I think I'll switch over to talking about guys now. So we saw that for girls, it was a sign of fertility. Basically, just beauty is a sign of fertility. And for guys too, it is. So, well, I guess not fertility, of course, but more a sign of health. So, physical health. I'm just going to take a break for a second. I'll just pause. I just drank a bit of water because my throat is a bit dry. So as I was saying though, guys, it's a little different. We still have going to the gym, so portraying some physical attractiveness for guys is more of showing masculine traits, more of showing strength. That's why for guys you'd want to be exceedingly muscular and just general fitness too. So that's I was talking about a diminishing return of muscularity, and my theory is that part of the diminishing return is takes into account your physical, I guess how would I say this? When okay, I'll give an analogy, I guess, or an example. So, if you're really muscular, it's hard to run very fast since you're carrying way more weight. But if you're extremely lean, so if you have no muscle at all, you're able to run basically your maximum capability since you have no extra weight that you're pulling. Although your legs would be less muscular, if you just train running without training any of your upper body and any unrelated muscle, for example, you would be at peak speed. Okay, so taking that into account, you'd want to have muscularity, so being able to have the strength to, I don't know, throw things, to beat people up, but also the strength, or really the speed, the stamina to run. So and the endurance that goes along with it. So I think that's why you don't really want to be extremely muscular. You don't you'd want to reach around your peak of natural muscularity that you could reach. So all right, so we've got physical muscularity, um, general sign of fitness, and also what's interesting, and I never really understood this, is guys can have attractive faces. And it makes, I mean, like intuitively, it makes sense. If girls can have attractive faces, guys can have attractive faces. But thinking back in terms of evolutionary psychology, why would guys have attractive faces? What would an attractive face mean? I don't really completely understand it. And so the closest thing that I was able to that I can really explain it with is guys are guys with attractive faces would be more likely to be healthy. So same thing with girls. And what people keep on bringing up is that guys with attractive faces also have good genes. But this is what doesn't make sense, because how can you know if a guy with a symmetrical face, because that's what an attractive face would be, really, how can that be a standard, a an ideal? Like, I don't know. It just it's not clear to me what the correlation between guys having an attractive face and what the purpose of that, what good genes it would provide. How could you easily, what good genes could an attractive face determine? Does it determine more reproductive capabilities? Because that's not really something that a girl would be looking for, or a mate would be looking for, since like guys already produce like a ridiculous amount of sperm. So there is really no need to be more fertile as a guy. Could it be more physical prowess? I guess so, but the face has nothing to do with physical prowess. So, good genes. I guess you just get good genes. Who knows why? I I I I assume it's just health. I assume health is the only reason. It just seems to be healthy. So, okay. Now, yeah, okay. I have also listed here. I have a general timeline listed, and I'm getting to the point where now I want to talk about like what, since I'm a guy, it's nice to talk about like what is the most attractive, trying to optimize the most attractive body part of a guy. So, I've heard that the most attractive body part for guys is, interestingly, forearms. So, the idea behind this is forearms. With forearms, you're easily able to determine a human's strength because forearms are going to be proportional. So, forearms are going to be proportional to your general arms, so biceps and triceps. And from that, you can also gauge chest and basically every other body part other than legs, but who really cares about legs? So, forearms are also nice because you can still see the forearms on a male that is clothed. Now, what's interesting too is you can, okay, how do I phrase this? So, basically, a really stylish look, a really attractive look for a guy is rolling up the sleeves on your forearm to reveal your forearm, on your arm to reveal your forearm. And so, like, even if you don't really have forearms, like, you don't have crazy strength in your forearms, crazy muscle in your forearms, it still looks good. And, yeah, it's just a good style, I think. But also, I mean, not just I think, it's backed up. I would say it's backed up. Trust me, bro. Those are my sources. Yeah, so basically roll up those bad boys and you're good. Now, okay, this is what I was mentioning is the interesting part of this vlog. So, we're already at 23 minutes and this is what I wanted to pull out. This is going to be the last part. Basically, yeah, so I have this graph here. I have this picture here. And what this picture is highlighting is, well, as you can see, men's ratings of women's bodies. So then you've got the touching side, and then you've got the looking side as well. And then what I guess I would be more concerned with is women's ratings of men's bodies, touching and looking. So I'd be concerned with this as a male. Now, this is incredibly fascinating, I have to say. And now, if you're looking at building muscle, optimizing building muscle in the right places for a mate, you would, based on this graph, based on this picture, you would optimize upper body and you'd never do calves. Which is like, it makes sense. It actually makes so much sense though. So chest, shoulders, biceps and triceps, and back are all equally, it seems to be, equally enticing to look at least for women. And what's interesting to note also is abs. Abs are like not even that important. And of course, you get abs by just being shredded. I mean, you also have to build a bit of abs, but it's mainly just being shredded. So, I mean, from this, it seems like being shredded isn't super important in terms of attractiveness to females. But I mean, like, upper body, man. Upper body is where it's at. Yeah, and then of course you can talk about you can see the picture of women as well. Um, I mean, like, enough said. Do you really need to add on to it? Do I really need to give commentary? Like, like, man, I guess what's interesting is the only thing that stands out for women looking at is the stomach. So, abs are way more important based on this picture. Abs are more important for women than they are for men relative to everything else, every other body part. And I guess thinking, yeah, I honestly I think this makes sense. With you're able to if you're able to see the stomach, if you're able to see abs, you can tell if a woman is like easily tell if a woman is overweight or even underweight or a healthy weight. So I think it kind of goes back to like the hair thing where you're easily able to tell if a girl is healthy or not. So I think that's all the commentary I wanted to give on this little picture. Feel free to pause it and investigate yourself. I'll also put the link to this study. So this was pulled from a study. I'll put the link to that in the description. But this, I don't know, to me this is really fascinating. Just observing what behaves you what behaviors what women and men find what women and men find appealing to each other. I also wanted to talk about something really quickly. So basically, I was actually thinking of